So I'm out here in the woods on a locksmith job, as well as the life consulting or coaching or whatever you want to call it. We also have a locksmith business called Keys to Life, proudly owned and operated by a female. Anyway, I'm trying to get the position right. So we're going to get to the next set of questions. How did you manage to keep hope alive for yourself and for the children? The power of mindset, gratitude, and small victories. My whole focus was the children while I was raising them, and keeping hope alive for them was teaching them that the sky was the limit, or it was limitless, that they could do anything that they wanted to do and thought about doing. So that was my whole focus. I didn't focus on me and hope so much. And I even taught them how to create bubbles. Like, you know how you blow bubbles with soap and you can see the bubble, but it's transparent, translucent? So I taught them to do the same thing with their energy fields, from especially the younger children when they were very young. So, and in this bubble was only the things that made you feel good and only the things that you liked. And so I remember one day my youngest son, he was maybe 10 or 11, and at the time I didn't have a phone, or my cell phone broke or something. And he said, "Ima, when I get bigger, when I grow up, I'm going to buy you a phone." And I said, "No, you're not. When you grow up, you're going to own the phone company and give me a phone as a gift." And so that was the mindset that I taught them. You know, once I read the book, or read the book a couple times, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Can't remember the author, but you can look it up. And if I'm not mistaken, it talked about the mindset, the difference between the mindset of somebody that grows up and gets taught to go to work and have a job, and somebody that gets taught to grow up and own a company. And so I believed in that, and that's what I taught my children. So that type of hope, as far as their presence and their future and their being, I taught that. Also, I taught them, I don't know if I verbally taught them or unconsciously taught them, that no matter who they are, where they are, what they look like, they can go anywhere, connect with anyone. So this is better, and now I don't have to hold it and won't move around. And I remember a few years ago, one of my sons, all of my children are business owners. They all have their own locksmith companies. And one day he'd been living in America for maybe 8 years. And he said to me, "Ma, I need some advice." He said, "Every time I go into a meeting, you know, I'm the only person of color there. I'm the only black person there. And I want to know how I conduct myself, or how should I act, because, you know, I feel like that's how I'm being treated." And I said to him, "Who told you you were black? I never raised you to believe that you were black, you're Jewish, you're Hebrew, you're Middle Eastern. I said, I taught you that you are El-Roi, which is his name. I said, if you go into a meeting and you go in there with the energy of, I'm the only black person in this meeting, that's how you're going to be treated. That's just the laws of energy and human nature." I said, "But if you go into the meeting and you go into the meeting with the energy of, hi, I'm El-Roi, I'm part of a family of 14 locksmith business owners, that's how you're going to be treated." I said, "Don't take on the conditioning of the victimhood of melanated people, especially in America. You're not a victim. You've never been taught to be a victim." And then also, when my children got older, I sat down with them and made them watch the movie Apocalypto. I think the one by Mel Gibson. We watched the whole movie. At the end of the movie, I asked them, what was the most important part of the movie? They guessed. They came close, and I said the most important part part of the movie was in the beginning, when they were in the forest, and these people that came through the forest and they exchanged fish with their meat, and this young son, Jaguar Paw, he felt the fear and the doom of the people that were so the most important part of the movie was in the beginning, when the father talked to his son about what he saw in the forest, and the main thing was, he said, I did not raise you in fear. Fear is like a disease, and it will travel from person to person, and then, you know, the whole tribe or the whole community will be filled with fear. And throughout the movie, that's what saved Jaguar Paw, because fear is an illusion. Danger is real. So he was able to deal with the danger, but the fear led him to overcome and succeed and save himself and his family. So I use things like this to teach my children. And I don't think I ever really believed in hope. So I don't think I ever believed in hope. Unconsciously, I didn't, and today for sure. Because when you hope for something, it's like a confirmation that you don't know whether it's going to happen or whether it's going to manifest or be. So I don't remember teaching my children hope. I taught my children mindset. I taught my children there's no such thing as no or impossible. As far as hope for myself, for a very long time, I just went through each day waiting for that day to finish in order that the next day could come, and waiting for that day to finish in order that that day would finish, and so on and so forth for myself, until just waiting for something to open up for me. So most of the mindset, most of the hope, all that was I consciously and unconsciously imprinted in my children, and I think through proximity, maybe, some spilled over on me. So, next question. What would you say to another single mother who feels like she can't do it anymore? Do something for yourself that feels good. Whether it's just sitting down and eating the best sandwich ever, taking a bath, having a moment that just belongs to you is extremely important. It doesn't have to be major. It doesn't have to cost money. It just has to be a moment for you. It could be before the kids get up in the morning, or after they go to bed at night, or when they're in school. You have to have even just 5 minutes for you. Relax the muscles in your shoulder and neck. Relax the muscles in your stomach. And for minimum 5 minutes, be you. Do something that you love. Sitting on a park bench, petting your pet. That's part of what got me through every day, that I learned to have a moment just for me. Looking back now, what do you see as the greatest gift that came from this journey? Was it transformation, faith, or awakening through motherhood? I would say the most important thing was awakening through motherhood. And I also paid attention to the names of my children. And even though, being in a cult, my children were given names by either their grandfather on their father's side, who was one of the cult's leaders, the right-hand man of the cult, head honcho, or from the actual leader of the cult. That being said, I still paid attention to their names. And their names gave me like a pathway to unconsciously focus on certain things. Like my oldest, his name in English meant God, He is my light. My second child, my daughter, God, my God has heard. My twins, God is my witness, and I shall know God. So I waited for the names, and it wasn't so much that I learned through the names, but it was more like an unconscious confirmation that God, the Holy Spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, was in my life at that moment, and it helped me to grow spiritually. Another gift was learning how to love people for how they wanted to be loved. That it wasn't just a general, generic type of love that was a blanket for everybody. It also transformed me, because with each child I grew. With each child I learned more about me. I want to go back a minute and talk about what would I tell a single parent if they're like completely overwhelmed. And it was something that my mother taught me when I had 4 children, pregnant with the 5th, and my oldest was 4. Yes, my oldest was 4, the second oldest was 3, and the twins were about 2. And I was pregnant with my 5th. And I already had a miscarriage in between the twins and the 5th pregnancy. And I was visiting my mom, and she said, you have to teach your children responsibility and chores. She said, even a 2-year-old can learn how to line up shoes or put up shoes and put the toys up. And I never forgot that. So from that age, I started teaching my children first and foremost responsibility, because I'm sure part of the overwhelming feeling is that as a single parent, you feel like you have to do everything. Some of it may be because you just don't know better. Some of it may be overcompensating for the fact that you're a single parent. Whatever it is, put your children to work. When I say work, I don't mean like child slavery. You know, a 2-year-old can put up shoes, can put up toys. A 3-year-old can learn how to set the table. A 4-year-old can learn how to throw away trash. So that by the time my children, the older ones were teenagers and the younger ones were younger, they knew how to run a house. Everybody had their own chore. Everybody did something. Everybody participated. And I also remember one time when my children were younger, my ex-sister-in-law taught me, she said, that is not your laundry. That is the family's laundry. You know, so my children learned at a very early age how to separate laundry, how to put laundry in the machine. We didn't have dryers, so we hung laundry out. And that was part of somebody's chore, either before they went to school or got home from school, you know, as they got older and the things were age appropriate. Once my kids turned 15, they had cook days. And it would be simple stuff. My 5 younger children that were still at home, I got tired of being a referee, trying to figure out whose week it was to do what. So their chores rotated on a monthly basis. And I also incorporated during that month that one of them every Friday, you know, for the Friday meal, for the Shabbat meal, one of them was responsible for helping me prep all the food, because everything that we did was homemade. And so it taught them responsibility as well as accountability. Another thing that I taught my children, which really helped, I mean, I still got overwhelmed, don't get me wrong, but another thing that helped was I taught my children how to reason with me and reason with each other. If they wanted to go out, they wanted to have an event, or they wanted to, whatever it was. You want what you want, I want what I want. Your room has to be clean, your shelves have to be in order, your chores have to be done. And then you can get what you want. And it wasn't a situation where they got everything and I got nothing, or I got everything and they got nothing. We both got what we wanted. If there were arguments between the children, let's say two of my sons were going back and forth arguing, I would tell them, go in the room, work it out, and don't come out till you both figure out how to work together and get what you both want. And I don't want it to be that one of you all is bullying the other person and the other person doesn't get what they want. So I did that. Another thing is, one of my sons, he learned how to reason so well that he got everything he wanted, but I got what I wanted too. And then also when the children started getting older, I did it like the military. If one person's shit wasn't in order, everybody paid. So if the older ones wanted to go to a party or wanted to hang out with friends or do something, they had to make sure that the younger ones were in order too. So it created some type of collaboration. I still had to be there and still had to have follow through, but it just made my life easier, because in my mind, I was like, it's one of me, it's 11 of them. God forbid there should be a mutiny, I'm fucked. So I would say that to the parent that's overwhelmed, teach your children how to have chores and how to be part of the process of maintaining and keeping up a household. Anyway, thank you for listening. I hope this was insightful and gave you some perspective. See you next time.